I'm going to dig deeper into the question I get asked almost every single day, and that's why I'm vegan. Okay, so here's the big problem. You want to live plant-based and excel at your health and performance. You're looking for real ways to change your life and the world by reducing your footprint. How do we continue to perform in every facet of our lives and do it without eating meat and following the format that's been force-fed to us our entire lives? And do it on your own terms through a plant-based diet? That's the real question, and I'll give you those answers and more. I'm Marcus Watts, and welcome to the Vegan Transition. All right, guys, we got a good one today. Let's get into it. So one question that I get a lot from people, especially people that don't know me, they'll ask me, so why are you vegan? And whenever I don't really like to tell the whole story about, the blood clots, being in the hospital. It's like this long, drawn out story. What I like to tell people is, in short, I just know too much, and I think that's it's one of those things where you just begin to educate yourself, and you get to a certain point to where you just can't act like you don't know anymore. Growing up as a kid that played football, you're always told, if you got to be big, you got to be strong. If you want to get big, you drink a gallon of milk a day, GOMD, literally that's what they call it, drink a gallon of milk a day. And then you eat a bunch of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And it was always this big, macho, thing around, you eat steak, you eat, it's just this thing, and it kind of made it super masculine as well. But that's another conversation. But, I just tell people I know too much. Before I just decided, okay, I'm going to give this a try, I started doing research and, watching documentaries and, reading up books and finding out more information about people. And, one of the first things that I learned outside of the health stuff was what was happening to the environment. And it was really hard for me to just act like I didn't know what was happening to the rainforest, and to act like I didn't know how much it took to feed, livestock and to feed cattle who were being raised purely to be slaughtered. And, it was just I couldn't just fake it anymore. I couldn't just be like, okay, that's cool to know. I don't care because it doesn't affect me. Because I felt like if I did that, what kind of person am I? And I don't mean that people that don't feel like that are bad people, but I felt like I didn't want to be someone who had information and chose to do absolutely nothing with it, I think that it's kind of the same thing. I think that veganism is in 20, 30 years is going to be like, the civil rights movement, and it's going to be like, gay and lesbian, rights as well. And I don't mean that the fights are the same. I'm not saying that at all. Please, some of you guys, if that just ruffled your feathers, you should chill. I don't even know if you should keep listening to the podcast because you're getting offended about some stuff that's out of this world. But I'm not comparing those struggles. But what I'm saying is, in the 50s and the 60s, black people couldn't even drink from the same water fountains as white people. You know what I mean? Just getting beat in the street, absolutely no rights. It was crazy. Same thing with women, right? The women's right movement, same exact thing. Women can't vote. They got no rights. Here's your place. Stay in your place. Yada yada. And that's those battles. Both those battles are still being waged today. Right? And, the equal, as a matter of fact, equal, that leads us, the equal wages for women, things like that, right? I think years from now, those are going to be things of the past. Before, someone that was gay was seen a certain way, and now it's so much more accepted because people are just aware of the situation, and now they see it different. And for me, for myself, and for a lot of the people that I know, that's what veganism was to me. It was like, I see it. I understand the effect that's happening on the environment. I understand what's happening to my body. I understand the data. I've taken enough of the information in for myself, and I've made up my own mind. And I can no longer act like I don't know. one more example I'll give you is, so, even as a kid, I remember having these like weird conversations with myself where I would just think like, what if I was born to another family and not my family? Like, what that would be like, because I love my family so much. I just couldn't imagine not being a part of my family and not having my brothers and my mother and my father. But I wasn't actually in control of that. Like, I could have just been born like to a white family. I could have just been born in Europe. I could have been born in Asia. And in Asia, for example, it's in parts of Asia, they eat dogs. I mean, it's a conversation that we all know about. Hey, quick interruption, Marcus here. I just want to let you guys know that for 2019, I've got an amazing program going on where you can actually get coached by me absolutely for free. It's a 2019 Healthy Kickstart program, and I just want to give back. There's no hidden fees or anything like that. I just want to give. I want to help people learn better ways of nutrition, better ways of working out, and give them some accountability so that in 2019, they can absolutely crush all their fitness goals. If you're interested in getting some information, just check out the link included below in the description of the podcast. Come over and try to apply. We've only got so many spaces available, so if the sign up is closed, I'm sorry you missed out this time, but you can look out for other things that we've got in the future. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Back to the show. Now, in Ireland, you can go to Ireland actually, and you can have a horse steak. You can go in a restaurant, you can order a horse steak, right? In America, if you kick a dog out in public, we might throw you in jail. You know what I'm saying? In parts of Asia, they slaughter 1,000 dogs in the street. The streets turn red. It's a part of the culture, right? Americans will go out there and see it, and they'll be like, why are you doing that? They're trying to save the dogs and all this stuff. Why are you doing that? It's wrong. This is so wrong. We can't see how you don't see it. And then the Asians of the culture would say, we don't kill cows. They worship them. But in our country, it's okay to eat cows and chickens and all the stuff that we do. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys kind of get one, like, who's right? But if you were born in Asia or you were born in Ireland or some of these other places, it would be normal. It wouldn't be abnormal. Right? Because nobody's challenged that yet. That's just a part of the culture. Just like slavery was has always been a part of America's culture. It just was what it was. You don't change what is, because it is what it is. But again, when you start to stack the information in front of yourself, man, it becomes a whole different story. And you start to feel like, man, like, what do I do with all this? Well, I just kind of decided, like, there's really nothing that I can do except make my own voice heard by not supporting the industries that are taking part in this. So that's really kind of where it evolved to. So whenever people ask me, hey, why are you vegan? Especially, like I said, especially people that don't know me, I just tell them I know too much. One study that really stuck out to me was during World War II, and I can't remember what country. It might have been like Hungary. I can't remember honestly. You guys will have to, and you guys hit me up, just ask me or comment on this, and I'll make sure that I've got the answer by the time this comes out. But there was a country, and the Nazis had invaded it, and basically all the animal products, all the milk, all the meats, all that stuff, anything that was a derivative from an animal was taken away from the people, right? You're thrown in these camps, you're not getting steak and shrimp and chicken, right? You're getting like the leftovers. Like you might get bread, you're getting like mostly like stews and stuff like that, and they're made from like vegetables and most times water. throw some salt and pepper in there. That's it. I mean, I don't even want to say that they got that. Well, when you took a look at the heart-related illnesses, so heart-related illnesses and diseases during that time dropped drastically. All right, and I'm sure that this also reigned true for other countries, but this particular study was just in one country, or referenced this one country. So, literally, when you're looking at the graph, they just plummeted. Heart-related illnesses and deaths just absolutely plummeted. But as soon as the war was over, and the people were allowed to go back to their regular style of eating, you saw that drastic spike right back to where it was before there was this, time where all the meats and stuff were taken out and taken away. So that's another one that really, really stood out for me. So look, I just encourage you guys to go out and gather some information. Go out and watch one good documentary is Forks Over Knives. All right, people try to talk a lot of shit about these documentaries. You need to go and look at them and make up your own mind. Don't take my word for it. I always tell y'all, do not take my word for it. Go do your own research. Go find out what people are doing. Go find out what people are saying. You go find out where the information comes from yourself, and then go do your own studies. Be your own case study. You know what I'm saying? Make up your own mind. Like I said before, man, I think that, in 10, 20, 30 years, our kids and everybody are going to look back, and they're just going to be in awe that we ever lived the way that we did as far as the foods that we ate and consuming animals. And that's just my own opinion. And the last thing I'll say is, listen, I don't think I'm any better, and I don't think that anybody should think that they're better because you are vegan or because you've tried to stop eating meats. I think that there needs to be a really big understanding between people, and there should just be more questions asked. I think the more questions that we ask, that the better everybody else, the better that everyone is, the better off everyone is going to be. You guys understand what I'm saying? But all right, hey guys, take that information, please use it. Go question everything. Go find out information. The more you find out, the more you might feel like, hey, you know what? You can't act like you don't know anymore. All right, well, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of The Vegan Transition. Please do me a favor. If you enjoyed this, wherever you're listening, please give us a 5-star rating and share it with a friend. If you enjoyed it and it helped you, please pass it on to someone and maybe it can help them as well. Also, don't forget we've got our 2019 Healthy Kickstart program. Again, the details to that, if you want to join, are in the description of this podcast, and we've only got so many spaces available. Let us know what stuff you want to hear. I want to make stuff for you guys, and hey, once again, thanks for checking us out, and take it easy.